Jack Miller stood straight as the airlock door hissed open. His Blue Earth Alliance uniform felt too tight around his neck. This was it. First contact with the Galactic Council. "Remember, Lieutenant Miller," Captain Howard whispered beside him. "You represent all of humanity today." Jack nodded. No pressure at all. 3 aliens waited on the other side. The one in front looked almost like a tall, thin frog with huge black eyes. To its left stood something like a blue jellyfish floating in midair. The third alien resembled a walking plant with flowers blooming across its bark-like skin. "Welcome, humans," the frog-like alien spoke in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Gleeks of the Galactic Council. We have been watching your world for some time." Jack stepped forward. "Thank you for inviting us, Ambassador. Earth is honored to meet the Council." The plant creature made a rustling sound that the translation device on Jack's wrist converted. It moved so quickly and forcefully. "Are we certain about this meeting?" Jack pretended not to hear. The council members led them through gleaming white corridors to a large meeting room. Representatives from at least 12 different alien species sat around a curved table. None looked remotely human. Some had too many limbs. Others had none at all. "Please be seated," Gleek said, pointing to empty chairs. Jack sat down carefully, noticing his chair sank under his weight more than the aliens' chairs did. He was heavier than most of them, despite their similar sizes. "Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world," announced a small bird-like alien with glittering scales. "The humans before us evolved under conditions most council species would find impossible to survive." Murmurs spread around the table. Jack caught worried glances from several delegates. "What exactly is a death world?" Jack asked. Gleeks blinked slowly. "Planets with extreme gravity, harsh weather, dangerous predators, tectonic instability, or deadly pathogens. Most council species evolved on worlds with minimal threats. Earth has all those things," Captain Howard said with a hint of pride. The jellyfish alien wobbled. "Precisely our concern. Your species developed in constant danger. It has made you resilient, but potentially volatile." Jack understood now. They were afraid of humans, not because humans were advanced. Earth technology was primitive compared to what he saw around him, but because humans were tough. "We come in peace," Jack said, using the old cliché on purpose. "Humans want to learn and trade, not fight." "Your history suggests otherwise," said a small gray alien with 6 eyes. "Your planet has never known a century without war." Before Jack could defend humanity, servers entered with trays of food and drink. The meeting shifted to a reception. Jack accepted a glass of blue liquid that smelled like mint. He walked around the room, trying to make conversation. Most aliens kept a careful distance. As he turned, his elbow knocked a crystal sculpture from its pedestal. Jack caught it in midair with one hand. The room went silent. "I'm so sorry," he said, carefully placing it back. "You caught it," the plant alien said. "Your reflexes and strength, most impressive." "And concerning," added another delegate. Jack felt like he was failing at his one job. Make a good impression. "Lieutenant Miller," Gleeks approached. "There is someone you should meet." A new alien entered the room. This one was different, muscular and reptilian, with thick scales and sharp teeth. It walked with the same alertness Jack recognized in combat veterans. "This is Krazac, representative of Voris, another Deathworld species," Gleeks explained. Until now, the Vorasians were the only Deathworld species in the Council. Krazac extended a clawed hand. Jack shook it, feeling real strength in the grip. Finally, Krazac said in a rumbling voice, "Someone who understands what it's like to evolve on a world that tries to kill you every day." Jack smiled for the first time since arriving. "It's just called Tuesday back home." Krazac made a barking sound that Jack realized was laughter. Across the room, Captain Howard looked relieved. Maybe this wasn't going to be a disaster after all. But the worried looks from the other council members told Jack that humanity's path forward wouldn't be easy. Earth was a death world, and its people were seen as dangerous. But now, at least, they weren't alone. Jack found himself sitting with Krazac in the Council Station's observation lounge the next day. Through the large window, Earth shone as a blue jewel against the blackness of space. "Your world looks peaceful from here," Krazac said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "So does yours," Jack replied, pointing to a reddish planet visible in the distance. Vora's was smaller than Earth, but had higher gravity. No wonder Krazac was built like a tank. "The Council fears us," Krazac said simply. "They come from gentle worlds. No predators, perfect weather, low gravity." Jack nodded. "They called us volatile yesterday. They called us the same when we joined, 20 Earth years ago." Krazac's tail twitched. "They debate for hours about meal schedules while we focus on staying alive." A human woman approached their table. She had short brown hair and wore a science uniform with patches showing she studied alien life. "Lieutenant Miller, I'm Dr. Lisa Carter, Xenobiology Department." She extended her hand, then noticed Krazac and offered a Vorasian greeting instead, pressing her fist to her chest. "You know Vorasian customs." Krazac seemed impressed. "I've been studying Council species for 3 years," Lisa said, sitting down, "including the few reports we have on Vorasians." Jack liked her direct approach. "What can you tell me about how the Council really sees us?" Lisa looked around to make sure no one was listening. "They're split. Some want human technology and our ability to survive harsh environments. Others think we're too dangerous to include. The cautious and the curious," Krazac rumbled. "Same with my people." A loud alarm suddenly blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "What's happening?" Jack stood up. A voice spoke over the speakers in several languages. When it reached English, Jack's blood went cold. "Security breach in Sector 7. Armed intruders detected. All delegates proceed to safe rooms." Krazac was already on his feet. "The purists," he growled. "Extremists who believe Deathworlders should be kept out of Council space. We need to help," Jack said without hesitation. Lisa grabbed his arm. "The Council security will handle it." "Council security comes from peaceful worlds," Krazac said. "They are not prepared for real violence." Jack nodded in agreement. Both Deathworlders understood the situation in the same way. They moved quickly through the corridors as most aliens ran in the opposite direction. Jack noticed how he and Krazac naturally checked corners and moved with purpose while others panicked. They found Sector 7 in chaos. 3 insect-like aliens with weapons were holding several Council members hostage. 2 security officers lay injured on the floor. "They want to kill the Council leadership to prevent Earth's inclusion," Krazac whispered. Jack assessed the situation. "I'll create a distraction. You circle around behind them." "Just like hunting pack predators back home," Krazac said with a toothy grin. Jack picked up a metal tray from a nearby table and threw it hard against the wall. The noise made the attackers turn. In that moment, Krazac moved with surprising speed for his size, tackling one attacker. Jack rushed forward, disarming a second attacker with a move he learned in Earth Alliance training. The third turned his weapon on Jack, but Lisa, who had followed them, threw a chair that knocked the attacker off balance. In less than a minute, all 3 attackers were subdued. Council security arrived moments later, looking shocked at how quickly the situation had been resolved. Ambassador Gleeks approached, his large eyes blinking rapidly. "You saved many lives today," he said, "but you also confirmed some fears. The way you fought, it was frightening to witness." "We did what was necessary," Jack said simply. Gleeks nodded slowly. "The Council will meet tomorrow to discuss Earth's status. This incident will complicate matters." As the attackers were taken away, Lisa joined Jack and Krazac. "You two worked together perfectly," she said, "like you'd trained together for years." "Deathworld instincts," Krazac explained. Jack looked at the Vorasian. I think we just changed everything. Good, Krazac replied. The galaxy needs changing. The next day, Jack stood before the full Galactic Council. 50 alien representatives sat in a half-circle, watching him with expressions he couldn't read on their non-human faces. Krazac stood beside him, a solid presence that made Jack feel less alone. The attack has raised serious concerns, said Ambassador Gleeks. Some council members believe it proves that including Deathworlders brings danger. An elderly alien with pale skin that glowed slightly raised a long, thin arm. We acknowledge your bravery, Lieutenant Miller, but your fighting skills also frighten us. Humans seem designed for violence. Jack took a deep breath. He needed to change their minds. With respect, we're designed for survival. Earth throws everything at us. Storms, earthquakes, diseases. We adapt and overcome. Those skills can help the Council. Krazac nodded. Before Varasians joined, the Council lost 3 survey teams on hostile planets. Since then, with our people leading, no teams have been lost. Jack saw his opportunity. There's a way to prove humanity's value, he said. The abandoned mining station on Cirx 9. I understand you need the rare minerals there, but the planet is too dangerous for your teams. The council members looked at each other. Jack had done his homework with Lisa's help. A joint mission, Jack continued. Krazac and I can lead a team to retrieve the minerals. Show you how Deathworlders can help, not hurt, the council. After hours of debate, the council agreed. Captain Zelnera, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, would command the mission ship. Lisa would join as a scientific observer. The team would include representatives from 6 council species and 1 human engineer named Frank Dawson, who had been working on the station. 3 days later, they departed on the council vessel Harmonic Unity *. Jack felt strange wearing the official mission uniform instead of his Earth Alliance blue. In the ship's meeting room, Captain Zelnera explained the mission. Cirx 9 was a valuable mining site until the station was suddenly abandoned 2 years ago. The official record says the minerals ran out, but you don't believe that. Lisa finished for her. Zelnera's skin changed color slightly. Correct. The last transmissions mentioned a discovery in the deep mines, something important. Then all contact stopped. Frank Dawson, a stocky man with a thick beard, spoke up. My brother was stationed there. He sent me one message saying they found something that would change everything. Then nothing. The planet itself is the main challenge, Krazac said, bringing up a holographic display. Gravity is 1.5 times Earth normal. Atmosphere is breathable, but has toxic elements. Acid rain. Extreme temperature shifts. Native predators. Jack noticed the council species looking increasingly uncomfortable. For us, it's Tuesday, Jack said quietly to Krazac, who made his barking laugh again. As they approached Cirx 9, disaster struck. A massive solar flare hit the ship, damaging the main engines. Captain Zelnera fought to maintain control as they entered the planet's atmosphere. Braced for emergency landing, she shouted. The ship crashed into a rocky valley. Nobody was seriously hurt, but the ship wouldn't fly again without major repairs. Jack and Krazac were the first outside, securing the area. The sky was orange-red, and 2 suns beat down on them. In the distance, something large moved through the thick, purple vegetation. Lisa joined them, checking readings on her device. Atmosphere's breathable, but contains sulfur compounds. That acid rain will start in about 6 hours when the temperature drops. The council species emerged from the ship, looking terrified. One began to hyperventilate in the heavier gravity. The mining station is 20 miles north, Frank said, pointing to mountains in the distance. If we can reach it, we might find communication equipment. Krazac looked at Jack. The station could also provide answers about what was discovered here. Jack nodded. First, we need to establish a safe camp and prepare these people for the journey. He glanced at the struggling council members. This is going to be a crash course in Deathworld survival. If they survive the lesson, Krazac said grimly, they might finally understand. By morning, Jack and Krazac had built a basic camp using parts from the crashed ship. Frank helped by setting up a power generator. The acid rain had come during the night, just as Lisa predicted. The special tents they made kept everyone dry. We need to start teaching them how to survive here, Jack said, looking at the council aliens who huddled together, barely moving. Krazac nodded. They have never felt fear like this. On their worlds, nothing hunts them. Jack gathered everyone together. Listen up. We have a 20-mile journey to the mining station. Before we start, you need to learn some basic skills. Captain Zelnera's 4 arms were wrapped around herself. We are not made for this place, Lieutenant Miller. Neither were we at first, Jack said. Humans adapt. So do Vorasians. You can too. Jack and Krazac divided the group into teams. They taught them how to watch for danger signs, test food and water for safety, and move quietly. Most importantly, they showed them how to think like Deathworlders. Always have a backup plan, Jack told them. And a backup for your backup. Question everything, Krazac added. On a Deathworld, beauty often hides danger. Lisa watched carefully, taking notes. It's fascinating, she told Jack during a break. You and Krazac think so similarly despite evolving on different planets. Survival has universal rules, Jack replied. By the afternoon, they were ready to move out. Frank had made walking sticks for the aliens struggling with the gravity. One council member, a squid-like alien named Hicks, fell behind constantly. Leave me, Tix said. I slow you down. Jack shook his head. Not happening. No one gets left behind. He helped Tix along, sometimes carrying the alien on his back. As they walked, Frank fell into step beside Jack. I grew up in Arizona, he said. Desert country. Not as bad as this place, but harsh enough. I think that's why I understand you Deathworlders better than most humans. Jack looked at him with new respect. Earth has its own range of environments. Some humans understand Deathworld thinking better than others. By evening, dark clouds gathered. The air smelled different. Storm coming, Krazac said, testing the wind. A bad one. Jack found a cave in the nearby cliffs. Everyone inside. Now, they barely made it before the storm hit. Wind howled at the entrance, carrying acid rain and debris. The sound was terrifying. How did you know? Asked one of the council aliens, a bird-like female. The air pressure change, Jack explained. The smell too. On Earth, we learned these signs as children. On my world, we would all be dead by now, she said quietly. Lisa set up recording equipment. I'm documenting everything. The council needs to understand what Deathworlders bring to the Alliance. Frank worked on a communicator, trying to reach the mining station. Got something, he said suddenly. It's faint, but there's a signal. Someone's alive at the station. What does it say? Jack asked. Just a warning, Frank replied. It keeps repeating. Stay away. Discovery not what we thought. Danger. Krazac moved to the cave entrance, watching the storm. The real question is what they found in those mines. And if it's what made them stop all communication, Lisa added. Jack looked at the frightened council aliens. They were learning, but slowly. We need to reach that station, not just for rescue, but for answers. One of the aliens, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. What you two do every day, making quick decisions, sensing danger before it comes. To us, it seems like magic. Jack smiled. Not magic, just Tuesday on a Deathworld. Outside, something large moved through the storm, its shadow visible for a moment against the lightning. Everyone went silent. Remember the backup plan, Jack whispered, checking his weapon. Krazac nodded. And the backup for the backup. The storm passed by morning. The group continued their journey across the harsh landscape. 3 days of walking had changed everyone. The Council aliens moved differently now, more alert, more careful. They were learning. Look, Frank pointed to a metal structure on the horizon. The mining station. As they got closer, they saw that the station was larger than expected. Metal buildings spread across a wide area. Mining equipment sat unused. There were no signs of life. "Stay together," Jack warned as they approached the main entrance. The door was unlocked. Inside, they found an empty control room. No bodies, no signs of a fight. Just empty rooms with cold coffee cups and personal items left behind. "Like they all just walked away," Lisa said. Frank checked the computer systems. Power still on. "Let's see what happened here." He found the station logs and played the final recording. A tired-looking man appeared on the screen. "Final report. We've reached level 7 of the mine. What we found there, it's not minerals. It's the remains of an ancient civilization. Their technology is beyond anything we've seen. But we also found records of what happened to them. They changed themselves, made themselves weaker on purpose. When the real danger came, they couldn't survive. We're sealing the mine and leaving. This knowledge is too dangerous for the Council. They're already heading down the same path." End transmission. The recording ended. Everyone was silent. "We need to see this for ourselves," Jack said finally. They took the elevator down to level 7 of the mine. The doors opened to reveal a vast underground chamber. It was filled with strange machines and displays that still worked after countless years. Lisa examined the alien writing on the walls. "I can translate some of this. These beings called themselves the Architects. They evolved on a death world like Earth and Voris." "What happened to them?" asked Captain Zelnera. Lisa moved from display to display. "They became the most advanced species in the galaxy, but they decided their physical strength and survival instincts were no longer needed. They used their technology to change themselves, becoming physically weaker but mentally stronger. Like the Council species," Krazac said. Lisa nodded. "Exactly. Then a cosmic event occurred. Radiation from a nearby star going supernova. Their technology failed. Without their original survival abilities, they couldn't adapt. Their entire civilization collapsed." Jack touched one of the machines. It lit up, showing a hologram of tall, strong beings evolving into smaller, frailer ones. "They edited out their death world nature," Jack said, "and it killed them." "Is that what you think will happen to us?" Captain Zelnera asked, her voice quiet. Before Jack could answer, a loud alarm sounded. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. "Security system activated," Frank shouted, reading a display. "It's releasing some kind of defense robots." Metal doors slid open around the chamber. Robot-like machines emerged, weapons pointed at the group. "Everyone behind us," Jack yelled, pulling out his blaster. Krazac moved to his side, both Deathworlders instinctively forming a protective wall. The robots attacked. Jack and Krazac fired back, destroying several, but there were too many. They were forced to retreat behind a row of ancient machines. "We need a plan," Krazac growled. Lisa pointed to a central control panel. "If we can reach that, I might be able to shut them down." Tix, the squid-like alien who had struggled with the gravity, moved forward. "I can help. My people can squeeze through small spaces." Jack looked at the narrow gap between the machines. Too small for him or Krazac. "It's too dangerous," Jack said. "You taught us to adapt," Tix replied. "Now let me try." Jack nodded. "Go. We'll cover you." As Jack and Krazac drew the robot's fire, Tix slipped through the gap, moving toward the control panel. For a Council alien who had never faced danger before, it was an act of incredible bravery. "Maybe they can learn after all," Krazac said, firing another shot. Jack smiled grimly. "Let's hope we all live long enough to see it." Tix moved slowly toward the control panel, while Jack and Krazac kept shooting at the robots. More robots appeared from hidden doors in the walls. "Hurry, Tix," Jack shouted as a robot blast hit just inches from his head. Tix reached the panel, tentacles working quickly over the strange symbols. I don't understand all of it. Lisa analyzed the ancient language from her position. Try the red crystal on the right. That might be the emergency shutdown. Tix pressed the crystal. Nothing happened. The robots kept coming. We need to try something else, Krazac growled, throwing a piece of broken equipment at a robot that got too close. Captain Zelnera suddenly stepped forward. The architects used mental commands for their most important systems. Their records said they became mentally stronger. So we need to think the shutdown command, Frank asked. Not us, Lisa said, realizing the solution. Them. She pointed to the Council aliens. Your species evolved like the architects wanted to become. Less physical but more mental. Captain Zelnera placed her 4 hands on the control panel. The other Council aliens joined her, each touching the panel. They closed their eyes, concentrating. The robots slowed, then stopped completely. It worked, Jack said in amazement. Not just physical strength saves the day, Captain Zelnera said with a small smile. Mental strength has value too. Krazac nodded respectfully. True balance needs both. With the robots deactivated, they explored the rest of the chamber. Lisa translated more of the architects' records. This is incredible, she said. The architects predicted their own extinction. Some of them argued against changing their nature, but most believed they had evolved beyond the need for physical strength and survival instincts. Just like the Council debate about Deathworlders, Frank observed. They found more disturbing information. The radiation event that killed the architects wasn't random. It happened regularly in this part of the galaxy, every few thousand years. And it's due to happen again soon, Lisa said grimly. Within a century. Jack looked at the Council aliens. Without species like humans and Vorasians who can survive harsh conditions, the entire Council could end up like the architects. Captain Zelnera nodded slowly. I begin to see why finding this information frightened the miners enough to leave. Knowledge isn't the problem, Krazac said. Fear of change is. While the others discussed what they had learned, Frank managed to repair a communication system. I've got a signal to a Council ship in orbit around the next planet. They can rescue us in 2 days. 2 more days on this death world, one of the Council aliens said, but without the fear they had shown earlier. That night, they camped inside the station's upper level. Food supplies were running low. Jack and Krazac went hunting and returned with a large lizard-like creature. Is that safe to eat? Captain Zelnera asked. Lisa tested it with a device. It's fine. High protein. To everyone's surprise, all the Council aliens tried the meat. A week ago, they would have refused. You've changed, Jack observed as they ate around a makeshift fire. We had good teachers, Tix said. Not just about survival. About balance. Frank raised his cup. To Deathworlders and peaceful worlders, both needed. Everyone joined the toast. Later, Jack and Krazac stood watching the twin moons of Cirx's 9 rise over the horizon. Do you think it will matter? Krazac asked. What we found here. What we learned together. It has to, Jack replied. The architects failed because they lost their balance. The Council was heading the same way. Until they met humans, Krazac said. Another stubborn Deathworld species too tough to give up. Jack laughed. A pair of Deathworlders might just save the galaxy after all. Stranger things have happened, Krazac said, looking up at the stars. Though not many. In the distance, something large howled at the moons. Jack checked his weapon automatically. Just another Tuesday, both Deathworlders said at the same time, and smiled. 1 month later, Jack stood before the full Galactic Council again. This time, he wasn't nervous. Beside him stood Krazac, Captain Zelnera, Lisa, Frank, and Tix. They had all changed since their journey to Cirx's 9. We have reviewed your findings about the architects, Ambassador Gleeks said. The evidence is concerning. Not just concerning, Jack replied. It's a warning. The same radiation event that destroyed them will reach Council space within a century. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Fear was clear on many alien faces. With respect, said one elderly council member, how can we be sure this will affect us? Our technology is advanced. Lisa stepped forward. The architects were more advanced than we are now. They still perished because they engineered away their ability to adapt and survive. The council has been doing the same thing, Krazac added, valuing comfort over survival for generations. What exactly are you proposing? Gleeks asked. Jack looked at his companions before answering. A new program. The Deathworlder Integration Program. Not just accepting humans and Varasians into the council, but learning from each other. Deathworlders can teach survival skills and adaptability, Krazac explained. Council species can teach us about peace and cooperation. Captain Zelnera spoke up. Before our mission, I feared Deathworlders. Now I understand their value. My own people have become too comfortable, too specialized. We forgot how to adapt. I was the weakest member of our team, Tix said, his tentacles moving gently. Yet I helped save everyone by using my natural abilities alongside what Jack and Krazac taught me. The council chamber was silent for a long moment. Balance, Frank said into the quiet. That's what we need. The architects lost theirs by going too far in one direction. Ambassador Gleeks conferred quietly with other council leaders. Finally, he spoke. We will establish this Deathworlder integration program on a trial basis. Lieutenant Miller and Representative Krazac will co-lead it. Jack felt a surge of pride. This was more than he had hoped for. Dr. Carter will head research, Gleeks continued. Engineer Dawson will develop training programs, and we will seek out other Deathworld species to join the council. The universe is dangerous, Lisa said, but together, we're stronger. The vote was nearly unanimous. Only 3 council members opposed the program. Later, at the celebration, Jack found himself standing with Krazac at the same window where they had first really talked, with Earth visible in the distance. Did you ever think our meeting would lead to this? Jack asked. Krazac made his rumbling laugh. Never. I was the only Deathworlder in the council for 20 years. I thought I would always be alone. Lisa joined them, drink in hand. The research possibilities are endless. Combining Deathworlder instincts with council technology could advance us all by centuries. Frank was nearby, already drawing up training plans. I'm thinking obstacle courses, survival drills, and creative problem-solving exercises. Captain Zelnera approached with Tix. My superiors have authorized a special ship for the program. We're calling it the Unity *. Perfect name, Jack said. Tix extended a tentacle to touch Jack's shoulder. You taught me that I'm stronger than I knew. All of us are. Jack looked around at this unlikely group, humans, Varasians, and various council aliens, all working together. 6 weeks ago, they had been strangers, separated by fear and misunderstanding. The architects failed because they forgot where they came from. Jack said, we won't make that mistake. To the future, Krazac raised his drink. May it be full of Tuesdays we all survive together. Everyone laughed and joined the toast. Outside the window, a small ship departed the station, heading toward a distant star system. The first mission of the Deathworlder integration program was underway, seeking another species that had evolved on a harsh world. The galaxy was still dangerous. Challenges still waited. The radiation event that destroyed the architects was still coming. But for the first time, Jack truly believed they would face it together. Deathworlders and peaceful worlders, each bringing their own strengths. A meeting of Deathworlders had changed everything. And the universe would never be the same.